Hey guys, Kevin here of Call Center Training Tips. So, if this is your first time listening, my name is Kevin, and I am the writer and admin of callcentertrainingtips.com. If you're just watching this video again because you're reviewing, congratulations. I'm pretty sure that you're going to learn a lot here as long as you keep practicing. So, in this video, I'm gonna share 10 advantages that I have when I'm looking for work. So I'm going to share 10 advantages that I have personally. So if any of the advantages that I have applies to you, then you can use it for your job application. If you don't have any of these advantages, you can learn from me, you can ask me questions, and I hope that you will pursue having this, similar advantages to what I have because it's helped me find jobs. It has helped me increase the amount of money that I make from my employer, and I really hope that it will help you too. So if you ever need any help, just ask me some questions, and yeah. So let's begin with number one. I can speak in English. Most Filipinos that I know do not want to hear me speak in English. Unfortunately, in a job application, if you're applying for a job with a higher salary, you'll notice that each interview that you encounter, if the pay is higher than minimum wage, usually, it's like in a call center work, the interview is done in English. And because each interview that I had was conducted in English, I didn't have any problems with that limitation because I just try to speak in English whenever I can. And I'm not doing this to impress people. Or maybe, yeah, sometimes I do. I feel superior when I speak in English. But I do it mostly to practice because the better I get at speaking in English, the more opportunities open up for me. And when I was younger, I had an aunt, or maybe it's a friend of my mom. And when she found out that I spoke in English well, she was like really happy because she told me na malayo yung mararating ko because I can speak in English. And this was before knowing about call centers or BPOs. Like everyone just had office jobs and stuff like that. So, and I'm excited to speak to foreigners for some reason. I enjoy testing my English. Well, not really testing, but I enjoy learning from people with different backgrounds, different cultures, because I know that Filipino culture. Filipino culture is okay in some areas. We have deep, strong family ties. We have, we're very kind to other people. But we're very bad at a lot of other things. We're very bad with money. We're very bad with business. We're very bad with, um, professional relationships, right? So it's a Filipino thing. We're not very good in that area. So being exposed to the thought process of people with other cultures, like for the Japanese, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people. I'll get some hate for saying this. The Japanese are very professional. They're very detail oriented with what they do. They really take care of everything. And when you watch, if you compare Filipino artists do a concert, and then you compare it with a Japanese artist, they do a concert. I just came back from Japanese group's concert, and it's very detailed. And even if you don't know what they're saying, you know that they really did their best. And that's one of the things about the Japanese. And with the Americans are very honest, and they don't care if they offend you. They don't care if they hurt your feelings. If they care about you, they're gonna give you good advice, even if it's offensive to you. they're gonna tell you exactly what's wrong with you, and they're not very polite about it. The main point is to just tell you what's wrong with you so you can fix it, so you can improve your life. With Filipinos don't tell the people the truth in general, right? The most offensive thing for us is to say tumataba ka, or the other people tell us na tumataba ka. So we try to avoid having those conversations, right? And that's the thing. And that's one of the reasons why I'd like to get to know more about people who live in other places. So I have a few friends who don't talk to me in Filipino. Some of them talk to me in English. Like I have a friend who grew up in Saudi, and I try to spend more time with them and try to talk to them some more whenever possible. Because every time I do, I learn a lot. And then I also listen for errors when I'm listening to other people when they speak. So I don't usually say what's wrong, but I just take a note of what's wrong, because that's how you learn how to speak a language well. You encounter it, and you encounter the correct way of saying it. You also have to encounter the wrong way of saying it, so you can recognize the correct way and the incorrect way. So I listen to errors when other people speak in English. And then I take a note of things that I'm not sure, and I check those errors. I just Google it. I watch mostly English movies and read English books. Most people that I know do not want to speak in English, and as a consequence, a lot of them have settled for jobs that pay less than minimum wage and is always contractual. One of the people renting a room in our house, she works in a call center now, but she worked in Landmark for 15 years. And I was a kid when I met her. She was working in Landmark, and she's now 40 years old, I think. And you know, she started working in a call center, and then she got to meet this foreigner. This foreigner married her, and she's in the States now. But yeah, she met that foreigner because she works in a call center. She learned about new technologies, how to use Tinder and stuff like that. But then I digress. This video is about helping you grow professionally, okay? Not finding love in on the internet. Anyway, so job security is not dependent on what the company offers, but what you offer. So you have to think about this really well. Job security is not dependent on what the company offers, but what you offer. Because if you only offer one thing, if you only offer a very simple, if you can only offer to do a very simple task, like magkakashier ka lang, or mag-sales clerk ka lang, or magiging bagger ka, or magiging dicer ka, or basta whatever low-paying job that you have. If your skill is limited to that, when that job goes away, when that job is given to robots, when that job is given to someone else who's willing to take an even lower pay, you're screwed. Nothing's gonna happen to you, right? So you have to always keep improving your life. You have to always keep building your skills, because one day there will be no Grab. One day there will be no truck drivers. There will be no drivers. The cars will be driven by robots, right? Google has a program called self-driving cars. Tesla already has that. It's called autopilot on the Tesla. So only the rich people have access to this technology. But what happens after enough rich people have access to the technology is gonna get cheaper, and everyone's gonna have it. Back then, no one had a computer. now everyone owns a smartphone. Like everyone has one of these, right? Everyone has one of these. Some people have two of it. So what I'm trying to say is that, you know, even if it's far ahead, even if the problem's far ahead, you better prepare for it now because it's gonna happen. If you're in a low paying job, you're the first person who's going to have a problem because they're gonna look for a way to replace you with something. If you've ever been to one of those nicer malls, they no longer have a parking grill. It's just like a vending machine. You take a card and then you pay on the vending machine, right? And that's a thing. That's a thing now. So you have to start thinking about your future. Wait, I lost where I am in my. Anyway, so I put this list together so you can get a better chance. And there's plenty of opportunities for me, for you, for everyone else. And that's the reason why I'm sharing this secret that I don't even share to my friends. Many people read advice but don't try it. Many people receive good advice but they don't try it. If you go to church, you know, the priest or the pastor, what that person's saying, usually it's good advice, follow it. If you're doing something that's not good for you, that's not good for your family, you have to stop doing that. And some people, when they read good advice, they usually the first response is they try to look for reasons why it's not gonna work. They also look for reasons to give up. So um, if you work for a small company, sometimes it's not very good. Um, it's not very good. Like if you work for a small company, usually the pay isn't very good. And I had this experience before when I was working in sales, and I noticed that um, some of the other employees were kind of bullying me because I said some words differently than they do. So, yung letter R, iba yung R ko sa R nila. Yung R nila para silang pirate, yung R. Yung ano, Roberto, parang ganun yung R nila. Yung sa akin iba, mas tawag ng American R daw, sabi ng trainer ko sa call center. So, so the people bullying me at the job, it turns out that those people were previously assigned to my work, but they couldn't get clients. And I also found out that they weren't very good at speaking in English. And I guess that's the reason why they couldn't get clients. They encounter English speaking clients, but since they can't speak in English, they couldn't communicate with that client well. So walang deal, walang sales. And when I speak to clients in English, we usually end up talking about a lot of things. You know, shinare na nila sa akin yung buong buhay nila because we were speaking in English. So that's one of the things that's the advantage. So if you're gonna pick something up for me, is speak in English well. Learn how to speak in English well. So, and that's the first one. Okay. And it's like 14 minutes. So, I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna share more things later. And stay tuned. Keep watching. If you need inspiration, rewatch this. Watch this again. And thank you for supporting my site. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.